March 13th. Hey, I'm in my car. We got to get those green lines by any means necessary. Any means necessary. We got 80 plays for PrizePicks today. Over 90 on OUTLAST total. And we got to get it in how we can get it in. We got a new Discord coming probably tomorrow on the 15th. On Tuesday. I only want the YouTube fam. You know, there's some Facebook people that I'm cool and close with, you know, so to speak. But a lot of them are on the YouTube channel. But so I'm not really, don't really have anything to do with the Facebook people. But if you seeing this, then you're a part of the YouTube family. So the Discord will only be available to the YouTube family. And I'll probably put the Discord links in like comments and replies, probably a reply to people. Anybody in the comments, I'll probably like make it hidden, so to speak. You know, it's not a big issue, a big deal, but I just want the YouTube family. No outsiders, man. We had so many people that was outsiders who wasn't even in tune with the channel, because we're gonna be changing soon. We got a lot of growing that we're doing. We're gonna be changing soon. The whole setup, green screen, all that. So once we be able to go live, which I hope we could go live by May, you know, by the end of May, beginning of June. I wanted to be before that, but you know, it's grind season. You got to grind. 1,000 people just not gonna click subscribe just because, you know. But we had a high hit rate on our picks. So if you never try OUTLAST DFS, you get your first deposit matched up to $200. Also, by using the PPU code, you can't get your deposit matched up to $200 unless you have a code. So use PPU and get it matched. Also, I have an extra referral code that'll get you extra $25 to your first deposit. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into these plays. We got DeRozan, 41.5 PRA. Kevon Looney, 7.5 rebounds. Don't forget, Draymond Green is playing his first game in a while, so keep that in mind when you're picking. We got Porzingis over 6.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.5 3-pointers made. Embiid, 11.5 rebounds. Amir Coffey with no Covington, no Morris, no Reggie Jackson. I got Amir Coffey over 14.5 points, 21.5 PRA. Shouldn't be a problem. Darius Garland, 24.5 points. And we got 8.5 assists over. I mean, those is normal numbers that he climbs over those with ease. With people like Allen and LeVert in. Dean Wade is out today. So just check the injury report. You know I'm going to put it at the end, but just make sure you keep up with the injury report before you make your decisions. We got Evan Mobley, no Allen. So we got him at 16.5 over points. We got Terrence Mann, 14.5 points, 24.5 PRA. I just mentioned the guys that was missing. Reggie Jackson, Robert Covington. We already had people, Norman Powell, Paul George, like a lot of people missing from the Clippers already to start with. So we got Jokic going against Philly. We got him over 26.5 points. Monte Morris over 1.5 3-pointers made. Jokic over 5.5 free throws made. And I feel like it's going to be a matchup for you tonight. Philly versus Denver. We got James Harden, 23.5 points over 6.5 rebounds. I feel like that's a steal no matter who he's playing against. 9.5 assists. 39.5 PRA, because James Harden been struggling lately. But like I said, 6.5 rebounds is a steal for James Harden. If you know, you know. Monte Morris over 12.5 points. Austin Reeves over 8.5 points. Go ahead. LeBron could sit out tonight. So if you're going to get any of those Lakers, you better get them in now, because they're going to jack his price up. So we got Austin Reeves at 3.5 rebounds over. He's been crushing this. I mean, when I seen it, this is the first time I seen Austin Reeves on the rebound board. And I'm like, I see Austin Reeves get 4 rebounds on his own. I mean, no matter who plays, coming off the bench or whatever, you know. So we got him over 14.5 PRA as well. Matisse Thybulle, this is just a mere hunch because he's just only one game he's went over this, and since James Harden's been there, and that's 5.5 points under 8.5 PRA. The dude just runs around and just like a chicken with his head cut off, accomplishing nothing. And we got Clint Capella over 10.5 points going against Portland tonight. Nobody down there to hold him. Watford 14.5 points, could turn into a blowout. Kevin Huerter, no John Collins, no Gallinari. Scoring's gonna have to come from somewhere, probably Bogdanovich and Trae Young. But we're playing Portland now. They're garbage. They have nobody. They have not a soul except Josh Hart and Josh Hart. That's it. So we got LeBron, if he plays, over 30.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5.5 free throws over for LeBron. One of those games. He's tired of losing. I mean, you know, he doesn't really have any help right now. We got Josh Hart over 17.5 points. He's a loner tonight, just as well as he's been for the last few nights since Simons went out. 6.5 rebounds over the Hawks. We got Bogdanovich, 17.5 points over. He's starting tonight. No Gallinari, no John Collins. We got to have him in the starting lineup. We got SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 28.5 points over, 5.5 rebounds, 41.5 PRA. It's self-explanatory. He's been on a tear since he came back from injury. We got Miles Bridges, 19.5 points. Pascal Siakam, 22.5 points. Darius Bazley, over 13.5 points. Miles Plumlee, over 5.5 points, 8.5 rebounds. Isaiah Roby, definitely love him over 11.5 going against Plumlee. One of the weakest defenders that's known to man. I got Isaiah Roby going over 11.5 points, 20.5 PRA. As long as he's not bumping heads with Montrezl Harrell down there, because Montrezl Harrell like to pick on teams like OKC coming off the bench. We got Kelly Oubre over 11.5 points, self-explanatory. Montrezl Harrell, 11.5 points over, 6.5 rebounds, over 1.5 assists, over 20.5 PRA. We got Dejuante Murray, 23.5 points over 8 rebounds, over 9.5 assists, over 41.5 PRA, simply because he's been on the tear. I've seen the guy get over on his rebounds against Utah, against Rudy Gobert, arguably the best rebounder in the game. So they say. A lot of people say it, though. We got Karl Anthony Towns, under 40.5 PRA, over 23.5 points. I know that sounds crazy, but Zubac, over 10.5 rebounds. Towns, under 12.5 rebounds. We got Keldon Johnson, over 18.5 points. That's where those dimes for Murray's going to come from. Him and Pirtle, drive and kick. We got Mike Conley, over 4.5 assists if they want to win this game. We got Vucevic, over 20.5 points. Love it if Zach LaVine sits. He's a game-time decision. Even if he sits or not, I'll still love him over 11.5 rebounds. Him and Sabonis, I like both over 11.5 rebounds. 5.5 assists, 34.5 PRA, 39 fantasy points over. We got Javonte Green. You got to take this if Zach LaVine is out. Over 7.5 points, over 12.5 PRA. I was kicking myself for not taking it. I said it in my last video that they played when Chicago played Cleveland. I said, you got to take Green if LaVine is out. And that's an easy Green line. And LaVine was out. I didn't take Green. And it was an easy Green line. I mean, you know. So we got Giannis going against Utah. Over 29.5 points. 11.5 rebounds. Drew Holiday over 6 assists. Donovan Mitchell over 5.5 assists every time he plays Giannis, like once or twice a year. He's always deferring the ball, so that's why I got him over 25.5 points as well. But I wouldn't take that before I take the 5.5 assists because, like I said, he can hit because that's Donovan. You know, only reason why I got his points up here is because Bogdanovich is a game-time decision. Rudy Gobert is a game-time decision. And Donovan Mitchell hates to lose. But when he playing against that Milwaukee defense, is just like, you know, I mean, he need all the help he can get. So we got Kyle Kuzma over 19.5 points. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope over 13.5 points. And we got double-double from LeBron and a double-double from James Harden. LeBron if he plays. So that's 80 plays for us today on PrizePicks. If you haven't played Outlast, it's all power plays. Get you a 7 for 7 on the power play, 80 times your money. You can turn $50 into 4,000. You can turn 25 into 2,000. You can turn 10 into 800, 5 into 400. Come back tomorrow. Go check out Outlast DFS University. That's our other channel. Check us out. Like, subscribe, share. Use code PPU to get your first deposit matched up to $200. Also, click any link you see. And bear with us, man. We getting it. We're going to get the channel together. We just trying to get to 1,000 subs so we can turn up, y'all. And I'm going to drop the injury report right here.